This is Up North Live News today on 7 and 4.
Good morning. It's 6 o'clock on a Thursday. I'm Brendan here with Heather.
Oh my goodness.
We got a very busy studio this morning. The Girl Scouts are in the building, and Heather, look at all the cookies in front of them.
Oh my gosh, I love Girl Scout cookies. I think you could probably say the same.
Right there with you. Thin Mints are my favorite.
Trefoils are my favorite. I do like Thin Mints though, they're good.
So we're going to be talking to the Girl Scouts here in a few minutes and where the money from the fundraiser goes. So looking forward to that, Heather.
Well, I'm glad they're up early with us.
Yes.
But if you guys are also up early traveling across northern Michigan this morning especially, we're going to see some slick roads out there as rain and snow mix is falling. We're seeing that over at Drummond Island. It's 29 degrees. Feels like 22 degrees with light winds out the north at 7 miles an hour. We're starting to see that snow really wind down this morning already. This is moving to the northeast side of the northern lower, so the tip of the mitt stretching south of the bridge across I-75. That's the main impact right now. We're seeing that light rain and snow hit the ground. The good news is high pressure is going to roll in tonight, or today at least. We're going to see temperatures 25 to around 38 degrees, decreasing clouds, winds out the north at 5 to 10 miles an hour. The timing of all this on Stormcast, most of this will move out of our area by around 11 o'clock noon. By around lunchtime, we can see some chances for some sunny skies in the eastern upper peninsula. We'll hang on to mostly cloudy skies down the northern lower as we head into the evening hours. And then similar story as we head into Friday. We do have a system that we could see wintry mix and snow with on Friday evening. I'll time all that out for you coming up in a few minutes.
For the first time in decades, gun reform proposals are getting a hearing in the Michigan legislature. A House committee is hearing proposals that would require people to safely store their guns. It would also expand background checks and create a red flag law. The first legislative hearing was Wednesday, and another hearing on these proposals is expected to happen next week. Faith leaders and students met in Lansing Wednesday to call for an end to gun violence. This comes in the wake of last month's mass shooting on the MSU campus, where 3 students were killed and 5 others were injured. A bishop was one of the many people who spoke out in support of newly proposed gun violence measures.
Is it going to end death by gun? No. But kind of like we did seatbelts with our cars, we didn't end car accidents, but we greatly decreased fatalities.
MSU announced new safety protocols as a result of the shooting. Starting in a couple of weeks, most buildings on campus will require key card access to enter from 6 at night until 7:30 in the morning. 1,300 classrooms are also getting locks on the doors, and the university is installing more cameras around campus. New this morning, NASA and SpaceX had a successful launch from Florida overnight. You can see that on your screen right there from a few hours ago. The astronauts are on a mission to the International Space Station, kicking off a 6-month stay in space. The crew detached from the rocket after reaching orbit and is expected to spend about 1 day maneuvering through space before linking up with the space station. The crew includes 2 NASA astronauts, along with a United Arab Emirates astronaut and a Russian cosmonaut. This was the second attempt at the launch. Monday's attempt was scrubbed due to a technical issue. In local news, people in northern Michigan will soon have a new option for medical care. Munson Healthcare's new Elmira Occupational Health and Medicine Clinic is on US 131 in Antrim County. The clinic will offer testing and screening services, work injury treatment, as well as follow-up care with physicals. The clinic opens on Monday. Leelanau County Fire Department is installing a system that's not only rare to get, but also helps prevent cancer in firefighters. This is the Glen Lake Fire Department's final step in the 5-year plan of promoting its firefighters' health. The department recently got $95,000 from FEMA's Assistance to Firefighters grant program. With that money, it's installing the first fire station diesel exhaust system in the county. It's aimed at improving the air quality and lowering the cancer risk at the department.
We're continually breathing this in, it's on our gear, and it's been a real problem. So with the new cancer studies as well, you know, we're more likely than the general population by a long shot to get this in the field. So to have one of these, to know that the system itself is going to secure and expel 100% of the exhaust emissions that are going to be putting out by these big trucks, it's a big deal for us.
According to the department, 150 different cancers have been linked to diesel exhaust. To help lower that risk, the system will hook up to the truck's exhaust pipe and then take it outside. The installation is expected to be done by next week. In state news, former Vice President Mike Pence spent some time in Michigan last night. Pence visited Hillsdale College to deliver a speech on the role of faith in public life. It's part of a lecture series that college leaders say focuses on faith, learning, and related issues of the day.
And at a time when our most cherished values and traditions seem maligned by the popular culture on a daily basis, I say speak without apology about the institution of traditional marriage. And above all else, never give up on the right to life.
Hillsdale College is a private Christian college. Wednesday's visit comes after the former vice president published an autobiography called So Help Me God. In national news, Attorney General Merrick Garland is in the spotlight, along with many of the issues gripping our country both socially and politically. NBC's Bree Jackson reports from Washington.
That the testimony you're about to give before this committee will be the truth, the whole truth.
Attorney General Merrick Garland faced heated questions on everything from prosecuting protesters on both sides of the abortion fight to the fight against the deadly drug fentanyl.
This is out of hand.
Last year, DEA and its partners seized enough fentanyl-laced pills and powder to kill every single American.
Republicans also pressed the Attorney General about President Biden's son, Hunter, and the ongoing federal investigation into his financial dealings.
What steps has the Justice Department taken to determine the truth and accuracy of information provided? Congress and the American people, I think, have a right to know.
I have pledged not to interfere with that investigation, and I have carried through on my pledge.
Garland said his focus is on protecting civil rights and holding those who stormed the U.S. Capitol accountable.
We are disrupting, investigating, and prosecuting violence and threats of violence, targeting those who serve the public.
Republican Ted Cruz attacked the credibility of the Justice Department. Garland defended the agency and its employees.
In my judgment, the Department of Justice has been politicized to the greatest extent I've ever seen in this country.
I believe the men and women of the department pursue their work every single day in a nonpartisan and appropriate
General
way.
Garland says that includes efforts to combat the rise of violent crime here in the U.S. while working to help fend off Russian aggression in Ukraine. In Washington, Bree Jackson, NBC News.
President Biden is poised to issue his very first veto. This comes after Senate lawmakers voted on a resolution to overturn an investment retirement rule. That rule allows retirement fund managers to consider environmental, social, and governance factors when choosing where to invest. Democratic Senators Joe Manchin and John Tester crossed party lines in opposition of the rule. They say it advances the administration's social agenda at the expense of retiree benefits.
The ESG rule that we're going to vote on later today is just another example of how our administration prioritizes a liberal policy agenda over protecting and growing the retirement accounts of 150 million Americans that will be in jeopardy.
Proponents believe the rule gives fund managers the opportunity to maximize returns and minimize risk. President Biden said he would veto the resolution if it reached his desk. As you can see here, video shows a vehicle flipped upside down in a Southern California sinkhole. It formed on Wednesday. Nobody was in the car at the time, and there were no reported injuries. Happening today, Northwestern Michigan College in Traverse City is hosting its Career and Employment Fair. The event's free and open to everybody. It'll feature more than 75 employers from across northern Michigan. Over the past 2 years, representatives from the college say the need to hire is there, and employers are actively looking.
I think since COVID, especially, we can get back on campus with employers. I'm getting so many phone calls from employers for the past 2 years since we opened up things. They're just more excited to get engaged with students, which is really nice. And I'm being able to, talk with them more and be able to deliver their information.
The career fair will be at the Haggerty Center in Traverse City today from 3 until 6 p.m. Veterans are welcomed a half hour early, starting at 2:30. Employers are looking to hire for full and part-time positions, as well as seasonal and internship positions. A reminder, for the latest news, weather, and sports, go to our website, upnorthlive.com.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. That's right, it's Girl Scout cookie season. I have some special guests in studio with us today who are going to explain exactly how you can find your favorite box. That's coming up after the break.
Well, Allie, I thought the most wonderful time of the year was Christmas, but maybe we'll find out more on why it's Girl Scout cookies. If you're traveling across northern Michigan today, especially early on in the morning, you might need to give yourself some extra time because we're seeing a rain-snow mix falling, which could make the roads slick. As we head throughout the rest of our day, high pressure will move in. We'll see temperatures in the 20s and 30s, and we'll see sunny skies in the eastern Upper Peninsula. If you're traveling out of Cherry Capital Airport, temperatures are in the 30s this morning. No delays there. We're seeing a light flurry there. Detroit, Chicago, Minneapolis, Grand Rapids, down to Pellston. We're seeing no delays across the airports. We are in for a wintry mix that could impact at least your Friday. We'll show you that coming up in a few minutes.